Welcome to Physical Education at Harris Academy, Greenwich. The intent of the curriculum here for physical education is to emphasise a variety of activities which embeds both practical and theoretical knowledge to develop further interest for either examinations and/or for participation in later life. Now, to make that and break it down for you, we are looking at obviously students to develop a variety of different skills in both team and individual practical activities, as well as developing their theoretical knowledge of PE as a subject, which they can either then take on once they finish Key Stage 3 and go and sit GCSE PE or Cambridge National PE once they get to Year 10 and 11, or if they choose this isn't a way they want to go, they do have the knowledge that means that they can participate in all of these sports in later life, and also they have a good theoretical knowledge that can help them maintain a healthy and balanced lifestyle. But on top of that, obviously the keys are written here underneath, where we're talking about the fact that we want students to be able to have the opportunity to be able to foster a lifelong love of sport, and that be carried with them through life. And there are ideas that us as people, as we get older, we tend to drop our physical activity levels, and we'd like to be able to think that when they leave here at the end of their schooling, they're able to go down to the gym, be able to go down to different sports clubs and have the basic knowledge to be able then to either teach other people that knowledge, or to be able to participate and keep them fit and healthy. We also want them to be able to break down the idea of social and gender barriers, because in sport especially we can be seen as pushing certain gender stereotyped sports. So for example, boys do rugby, girls do netball. That isn't the case here. We have a curriculum that covers all of those sports, but both boys and girls do them. So girls will undertake sports such as rugby, and boys will also undertake sports such as netball. So what does this intent look like for your son or daughter? It's really about them developing various intellectual qualities that they need within and beyond the classroom. So we are talk about things like being able to work as a team, being able to discover and solve problems, to be emotionally mature in the fact that they're able to accept defeat, be gracious when they lose, also not going overexcited when they win. The idea is that we work, like I said, and we understand things like cooperation and coordination by working towards a common goal, for example, trying to score a try in rugby. And also we discover sports and working with people from different cultures and backgrounds, such as cricket, and understanding how they maybe view a certain task which might be different to our view, but we work together to achieve that goal. And the idea that by participating in these physical activities, strong ties can be developed to different participants, and you can gain good moral character, and that sort of thing is needed in modern society. So the idea that I understand people's different point of view and I accept their different point of view on a topic, without me having to get becoming very defensive or aggressive towards them, which obviously is something we want to eradicate out of modern society. And finally, obviously the idea that with the modern age of technology, we don't always go outside and play these sports and have an understanding of a variety of different sports. So it's really important that in physical education at Harris Greenwich we expose them to as many different sports as possible, which means it gives them a better all-round development and allows them then to be able to live a lot more of a healthy lifestyle. So when they start in Key Stage 3, what would that look like from when they walk in Year 7 to when they walk out in Year 9? Now, throughout the journey in Key Stage 3 in PE, they're taught content in an interchangeable manner throughout the year. Now, what that means is you don't necessarily you will all do the same sports, but you won't all do them at the same time. Okay. Also, that the fact that there are links that are made between lots of sports that we do. So, for example, if we were to do handball and netball, for example, those skills, there are many things that can have positive transfer between a netball pass and a handball pass. An example I've got here is the example of a table tennis grip, which is the same grip that they would use in badminton. So they're able to transfer that skill from their table tennis into their badminton, giving them a lot more confidence when they start to learn new topics. And it also allows us to build on those skills each year. So because they can be linked across certain sports, we're able then to build on top of those in Year 8 and then on top of them again in Year 9, which means that the actual knowledge has very solid foundations at Year 7, so that when it comes to these upper years in 8 and 9, they're then able to progress their skills on a lot quicker as the basics are so ingrained. Now, the theory knowledge that we teach them is interleaved with the practical skills taught in lessons. It's taught lesson by lesson, obviously, in PE, and we might introduce a topic like the definitions of health, well-being and fitness. Now, those will be discussed in lessons, but also their homework will be checked twice termly, which will cover those topics when they're being discussed in lessons. So they may go home and learn the definitions of health, fitness and well-being. Also, to make sure that knowledge is instilled in their long-term memory, they have biannual assessment. So they have an assessment in January and an assessment in the summer, the June in the summer, and those exams test all of their theory knowledge, but also interleave it and link it to the practical sessions that they've been doing throughout the year. So what are the expectations of your child while they're studying PE here at Harris Academy Greenwich? Key things to be aware of: students must have their Harris polo shirt for PE lessons, black or navy blue shorts, a navy school tracksuit, or a black or navy rain jacket. They also need to have trainers and football boots for their year, because at some point they will be studying rugby, which will require them on the field, and also other sports. When the weather is bad, we may need to go out and do some cross country or take part in some sort of other outdoor clubs. They may need football boots for that. They also need a gum shield. That gum shield is needed for their rugby, but can be used across a variety of different sports if they wish. Now, gum shields can then be used obviously in Year 7, 8 and 9, because obviously we build on the skills, as I already stated, each year. So the subjects that they study in Year 7 will be the same in Year 8 and the same in Year 9. So all these bits of equipment that I've just spoken about are going to be needed throughout the whole of the time they're in Key Stage 3. Students are also expected to bring their kit irrelevant of if they're injured or not. Now, there is one exception. The exception is if their injury limits them in terms of their ability to get change. For example, you've got a cast on your leg. You probably have made a very hard effort to get yourself changed in the morning. To make them do that on their own is probably not going to be fair on them. If that's the case, they must still bring their rain jacket in, because we may well go outside, and obviously we need to make sure that they are protected, ready for their lessons in school. In terms of bringing their kit, irrelevant of if they're injured or not, the reasons behind this is: 1, if they're taking an active part in the lesson, they're considered a member of the lesson, and our requirements are that they have a PE kit on. Secondly, is to do with personal hygiene. They may well go out and it may be really hot. They then sweat outside during their PE lesson, even by helping the teacher and having their active role in the lesson. They then have to go and sit in that for the rest of the day, whereas what we can do is obviously allow them to change out of their PE kit, put their uniform back on, which is fresh, and then go to the rest of their day. That also links to the idea, if it is raining outside, they're going to get soaking wet, and then at that point they have to be able to come back and do their lessons. They're not going to want to spend the rest of their day in their wet PE kit, so we ask them to change so that this is not a problem. Okay, homework is set twice a half term and is checked by the classroom teacher. So what we expect is that if they don't, or for any reason, complete this homework, they will be then set a detention or a sanction within the PE department. Finally, on this final slide, there are lots of options here to look at some of the PE that we've been doing so far this half term. Obviously we have current restrictions in place, which means there's only certain sports we're allowed to do, and the sports that we're currently doing are with minimal equipment. So this is a reflection of what we're currently doing, not necessarily what would happen next year, hopefully, where we'll be able to access a lot more sports. But it will give you a flavour of what we currently do here at Greenwich.